It's day 8 and 9, and today is June the 6th of 2020. So nothing really happened yesterday, but quite a few things happened today. Early this morning, the Kwintong district was flooded due to a thunderstorm, which normally doesn't happen even during typhoon seasons. What caused it to flood is that since last year, when the protesters dug up the bricks on the ground to build roadblocks and walls and various other purposes, when government repairs the road, they glued the seams between the bricks and made them harder to dig up from the ground. But what happened was water cannot penetrate through the seams and get into the soil, so they just ran off the surface and completely flooded the road. Yep. Secondly, today the 18 district councils have a joint meeting for the very first time in Hong Kong's history. They discussed about are they going to be asking for a withdrawal of the national security law, and also are they going to support the creation of a public platform for regular citizens to be part of the legislative process. Why this is important was because the district council was the only elections within Hong Kong government structures where it is completely democratic, where there are no government appointments for the members. There are no committees to pass through when you decide to join the election or be an electee. And there are no restrictions for who can vote for what, except for you have to be in that district, obviously. So it is the most democratic elections in Hong Kong, and all the people, all of the members in district councils are people's representative. It truly represents the people. And this could be the first form of the House of Commons in Hong Kong. It is a big step, and is the first step, very important step even, for having a more democratic structure within Hong Kong government structure. Although the Hong Kong government did not approve of such actions, and they did not send anyone to support such meetings, so yep, still a long way to go. Third thing was a bunch of influencers of the pro-government camp. They went in front of the British Embassy and they decided to tear up their BNO passport in front of the media. Even though their passports, one of them don't have the passport, so he held an enlarged printout of the BNO passport, but including that one, all of the passport are invalid and expired. So that did not actually destroy their BNO passport. They can always just renew and get a new one. And that action proved nothing but irony and being a hypocrite. Pro-government using fake piano passport to do a publicity stunt. Very nice. The last thing was today the chairperson of the Hong Kong political party Democito, Joshua Wong, which is a very influential and important political leader throughout Hong Kong's protests and movements in past few years, and were internationally recognized because of being a political leader of such a young age since 2014. He published on Facebook saying that him and the members of the party has been stalked. People were stalking them, not randomly, but rather systematically, with schedules and with resources, because they are not just someone walking near the areas where they would normally appear and taking photos. No, they have cars, they have different personnels taking pictures, recording videos. And this, combined with all the things I've just said, this just shows that this might not be something that the government actually do, or the government actually asked the Hong Kong police force to do. And I'm not saying that those people who stalked the Joshua Wong was a part of the Hong Kong police force, no. But this just goes to show that in Hong Kong, when you are pro-government, you can do a lot of things and not get arrested for it. And even like invading people's privacy, harassing people, where these are normally criminal charges, it won't apply to those who are pro-government. And it also shows that there are really oppressions on not only on protests and protesters and representatives and influencers, where they have like a gathering when they publicly said something, when they gave a speech, and when they joined the elections, which are really absurd. But even when they're not doing anything, when they haven't performed anything yet, the government or the pro-government camp are still trying to oppress people, trying to scare people, and trying to do whatever to make them shut up. This is scary. This is what happened 7 years before in China, before China became China, before before China became communist China, there are a movement where people are publicly criticizing others for just being someone who had a little bit more wealth, a little bit more money, and who owned land. Because those people are portrayed as demons, portrayed as devils, who are portrayed as capitalists, and why they were demonized was because the Communist Party Chairman Mao basically tells his supporters that people who own land and have money are oppressing you, are using you, are extorting you for their own benefits. And what they did to those landlords, to those wealthy people, was they publicly tie them up, displayed on a plaza or something, and throw stones at them, cut them up, publicly execute them, just because they are different. This is really scary, as this are slowly happening in Hong Kong. If you're not pro-government, because of the police are not gonna help you when you're not pro-government, when you are those they call as the yellow camps, they're not gonna help you. They are not gonna protect you. They are not gonna find who injured you. They're not gonna like put in charges for those who violate the law if they are doing things that are pro-government. And this just makes national security law more ironic, as it is not protecting the security of the nations or the security of the people within the nations, but is protecting those who are willing to go beyond normal measures to break the law, to perform actions that were deemed for patriotic. And this is such weird world, a weird place that we're living in, where if you're pro-government, whatever you do are forgiven, but if you're not pro-government, even the slightest thing will be prosecuted, will be judged, and you'll be sentenced to jail. Does this sound democratic to you? Does this sound safe to you? Does this sound like the government cares about people? Does this sound like they are enforcing the law? They are putting national security law in place because of the public interest? I don't think so.